Hello, everybody, and good morning or good afternoon. Whoops, depending on where you are. Got a little hair that's kind of going crazy right there. But good morning, Jeff. Yes, so please, if you are live, please let me know that you are here and where you're from. I would love to know that. And let's start this conversation. So, welcome to Practicality and Magic, where the human and the spirit collide. That is how I believe we are here. We are living in this space as a human. We've got our very human part and our spiritual part. We're spiritual beings here, learning how to have a human experience. Learning how to have a human experience, and that is not always easy. And when we're talking about well-being, that can be especially tricky because I feel like we really have to marry the human and the spiritual. We really have to bring the practical and the magic together to find complete wellness and health in all areas. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about health and wellness for the complete person. So that's emotional, physical, and spiritual health. We can't really have one without the others. They all are intermingled and they collide to create health or unhealth. Okay, so what I want to talk about today, we're going to start with talking about health. And basically, health is well being. And there's two ways to look at health. There's a very practical way and a very magical way. And as I said before, I believe that when the two collide, that is where we really find our strength. And that is where we find our magic, right? Which is what it's all about. But without practicality, the magic doesn't really mean a lot. And without the magic, the practicality, they go hand in hand. So it's a tricky little balance that we play. But our first defense to living, I believe, to living in health and wellness is our immune system. Okay. And so many factors come into play when we're talking about our immune system. So basically, it is ensuring that this is my belief about the immune system. Okay. So this might go against what you believe or what you've heard, but this is my understanding from my research, from my own practical living, from everything that I've been told from my guides and my spiritual team. But this is basically ensuring that there is so much healthy bacteria in our gut and in our body that the harmful bacteria can't take root. So I think of it like a garden. We want to have a garden that is so healthy that the plants, the flowers, the fruit, the vegetables, whatever we've planted, that they grow so big and so plentiful that there's no room for weeds. I'm experiencing that right now in my garden that my husband has planted. My husband is the most phenomenal gardener. And we have these tomato plants that are so big, so beautiful, so healthy that there is no room for weeds. When I was out picking tomatoes yesterday, I was just amazed at the beautiful garden and that there's just no weeds. There's no weeds to even pick because there's no room for them, right? So that's our immune system. And by no means am I an expert in this. I'm not trained in anything. I'm not like a nutritionist or a practitioner of any kind in that realm. However, I have my own practical experience, okay, with health and well-being. And you kind of can't, like, that is priceless in my opinion, because when you are able to heal yourself, when other channels have not worked, it is everything. That's where the practicality and the magic collide. Okay. So our immune system is basically our protection. Okay. And back about 19 years, or no, more than that, 22, 23 years ago, I was the epitome of unwellness. I was the epitome of unhealthy. And I think my daughter was 3. I had chronic sinus infections. That was just one of the things I had. That was the most acute that I was dealing with all the time. And the one year I had 11 sinus infections. So that meant 11 rounds of antibiotics, 11 rounds of guaifenesin decongestant, all of this. And no education or talk from the medical professionals that I was seeing about probiotics or anything like that. I didn't even know what those were. There was no talk of that with me, and I didn't know. So here I was on all of that, and 11. So at that point, my doctor said, you need to go see an ENT. You need to go see a specialist because something's going on. So I went to see a specialist, and they said, oh, yes, you've got this massive problem with your sinuses, and we need to do a surgery. You've probably got polyps. So they did a surgery and removed the polyps. And he said, you're going to be good, golden. The next month, another sinus infection. And I really had to have a come to Jesus talk with myself at that point and decide, like, where am I going to put my trust? Where am I going to put my health? Whose hands am I going to put it in? And I thought to myself, okay, this hasn't worked. I'm going to try something myself. I'm going to see what I can figure out. And I want to be clear here. People tell me all the time, oh, you're anti-medicine. No, absolutely not. My husband is on a medicine that he might be on for the rest of his life, and I'm grateful for it. Okay. And if I do need medicine, I take it. But I have other avenues available to me. I don't think that that's all there is. I like to explore. And, because I feel like the earth has a lot of things available to us that are really beneficial. And so, it's everybody has their own personal experience. And I think we're all on our own journey to wellness. And we have to do what's best for us. But if we are at a dead end with Western medicine, then I say, by all means, let's explore. Let's try to find what we can. So I had the surgery. No, didn't work. I got a sinus infection. I thought, okay, we got to try something different. So I just said a prayer and I said, God, and this was the first time that I had said this prayer because I had so much faith in my doctor, in the specialist that I was going to be fine, that I didn't feel like I really needed to pray. Now that sounds kind of crazy from somebody who's spiritual and, very connected, but it just wasn't. So I said, I need help and I'm open. So I happened to get a magazine one day at the grocery store, and in it there was this article about a neti pot. And I thought, what is that? And so I started to read about this neti pot, and I just knew, like, it was like the article was heightened, like it was sparkly and like brighter. And I just knew it landed in me. This is for me. So I went and found a neti pot and I used the neti pot, and I didn't take antibiotics for that sinus infection after my surgery. I thought there's got to be a better way to do this, and a different way that I don't know of, I'm not open to yet. So the neti pot, I started that, and it really drastically reduced my symptoms, and it was wonderful. And then as time went on, it really helped to the point that I was getting maybe 2 a year at the most, and they weren't really going that deep. They were just really, really mild. And good morning, everybody. I want to say hi to everybody while I've got a second. So I said hi to Jeff. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Mary. Oh, so good to see you guys. Tracy's in hot Missouri. Aurora, Colorado. Hi, Leslie. Oh, yes. Cocoa Beach. Nadine, Colorado. Oh, hi, KTL. So good to have you on the first time. And Buddhist Biohacker. Hi, Lisa. Oh, and she says she cooked the last of my husband's squash last night. I took some squash to Lisa when we had our gathering in Colorado, which has been 2 weeks already. I can't believe it. All these beautiful souls that I'm seeing on here. It's been 2 weeks since I saw you. So, and yes. And Tracy says, everyone just wants to throw pills. Yes. And good morning, Sherry. So basically, the neti pot was the first thing that I did. That was my first baby step into a new way of healing myself. Okay. And so the neti pot is really good for our immune system. And for me, it's like brushing my teeth. If you don't brush your teeth, you just don't feel like you're ready for the day. It's the same way I feel with my neti pot. It's like a shower for my sinuses and my nasal passages and just the way that I start my day. So it helps remove mucus and pollen and pollutants, and relieves dryness in your nasal passages. It helps relieve cold and flu symptoms. And the neti pot alone took me from 11 sinus infections in a year down to 2. Okay, so just that was that big. So that's my first suggestion for helping our immune system, right? And these are some really practical suggestions at first that I want to talk about. The second one is complete salt. Complete salt is essential. When I'm talking complete salt, it has all of its minerals attached, right, together. Over 60 trace minerals are found in complete salt. It's also not been processed and never heat treated, okay? And no chemicals added. So it's got everything intact. It's fully, together. And that's how our body is meant to absorb salt and metabolize salt. When it's like that, it's perfect food for our entire body, physically, emotionally, spiritually, okay? And so many of the things that cause unwellness or cause disease are due to mineral deficiency. So we want to be really, really careful about that. And I believe that the complete salt really creates the foundation that's necessary for wellness and well-being. And why I'm doing this right next to the neti pot is because I was using the packets that they provide in the neti pot. And then one day, without even thinking, again, I thought, oh, it's there, it's good. And without even thinking. And then one day I was going to rip it open and I just knew, like, ooh, don't use this. And so I looked at the ingredients on the back of it, and it said that it had all these other ingredients. And I knew, like, oh my gosh, there's chemicals. There's all these things in this salt packet that's inside with the neti pot. And these are some of the most, gentle, fragile tissues in our body. And I'm putting chemicals right up in there. That's not good. So I stopped using those packets and I started using my complete salt. So Mary, clean intact salt is hard to find. It can be very hard to find. I have it. So if you would like it, let me know, Mary. You can reach me at michellesnelling.com on my contact us page, or email me, michelle@michellesnelling.com. That's Michelle with 1 L, Snelling with 2. And hi, Lily, welcome. So I started using my complete salt in my neti pot, and that made a huge difference. I can't even tell you the difference. I felt good just using the neti pot with the packets that were included. That was like here. When I started using the neti pot with my salt, it was here. Okay. So you really want to be careful, because those kinds of things impact us. And everybody on this call right now, and I'm sure most of the people watching on the replay, we are sensitive people, right? We are sensitives. And so what we use highly is, very effective. I mean, I'm feeling the effects today. I ate gluten last night, and look at me. Look at how puffy my eyes are. It's like, I didn't even have that much. And look at this. It's insane how sensitive we are. And especially when we are working on removing toxins and things from our lives, it's like our body gets used to feeling good and to not having to process all of that junk. So just a little bit can throw us off. So we want to be really, really careful about this. All right. So the neti pot, complete salt, the first 2. Okay. The next category of very practical help for our immune system are essential oils and herbs. Now, I am an aromatherapist. I have my own line of custom created essential oil and salt products. And how I came to essential oils was pretty accidental and synchronistic. That's why I refer to myself as the accidental aromatherapist. I didn't think I could use any essential oils. And then I found that I can if they're the right kind. So, and they have been transformative for me. All right. So, guys, I want to also let you know if you have questions, comment, any questions about any of this, please put them in the comments. I'm here to help. If I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I'll try to direct you to someone who can. So, the thing with essential oils and herbs is that they have a pharmacological property, which means that they have medicinal properties, which is very important when we're talking about our immune system. Okay, because we want things that can help fight off the toxins and the things that want to attack us, right? And we come into contact with these things every single day. So my feeling is the best offense is a good defense, right? We want to be offensive by doing these things that will promote our immune system. And that in turn creates a wonderful defense of protection. Okay. So they can fortify our immune system and eliminate harmful bacteria, right? And they can also, some essential oils and herbs can actually help to build the environment of healthy bacteria or healthy, making it such an environment that nothing bad can grow. Like I was talking about the garden earlier. Okay. So some essential oils and herbs are more effective than others, but these are some of my favorites. Okay, so we've got eucalyptus. This is wonderful for any respiratory thing, and we've all got respiratory and lung stuff on the mind these days. So anything that can help us with that, let's do it. So eucalyptus is great for the respiratory and the lungs. Lemon is wonderful for our mood. It's a natural antidepressant and a natural anti-anxiety, which is essential when we're talking about our immune system. Our mood and our immune system are directly correlated. If our mood is better, our immune system is stronger. Okay. Rosemary. Rosemary is a great antibacterial. It's also anti-inflammatory for the airwaves. So another wonderful herb for the lungs and the airways. Tea tree. Tea tree fights all infections: antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral. So that's a wonderful one. Clove is really great for microbial, bacterial, and fungal infections. Okay. Lavender is, I always include this in the immune category for the best essential oils and herbs because it promotes good sleep. And sleep is paramount to our immune system. Like we cannot separate those two. If we're not sleeping well, our immune system is poor and degraded. Okay. Peppermint. Peppermint itself protects against cold, flus, and fever. So, I mean, wow, what a super food, right? Or oil. Oregano is antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. It's great for infection and inflammation as well. So also good for the lungs. And then cardamom. Cardamom boosts the immune system in itself, and it's great for all infections. Okay. So how to use these. So with the essential oils, I love to inhale them. Okay. I inhale them directly from the bottle. I put a little bit on a cotton ball. Like that's how I love to use lavender. I put a few drops of lavender on a cotton ball and I put it under my pillow or in my pillow when I'm sleeping. And it helps. My Calm blend is beautiful for sleeping. If you are having trouble sleeping and it's not related to like overactive mind or something like that, Calm is beautiful for that. If you have a sleep issue that's with an overactive mind, that's a whole other issue, which I can personally recommend for you if you would like help with that. Again, michellesnelling.com, come to the contact me page, or michelle@michellesnelling.com, and I would love to help you with that. I have the wonderful ability, I didn't realize that I could do this, but after I started creating my blends, I realized that I can go in to a person's energy, read it, and know exactly what they need for the issue that they're going through. So I would love to help you with that if you would like the help. Okay. I love to diffuse essential oils. My favorite way to use them is in the bath because the water acts like it makes it like a homeopathic. So it amplifies the effectiveness of the product. So using essential oils in your bath or your foot soak or the shower, if you don't have a bath or time for a foot soak, just stop up the drain in your shower with like a washcloth, let the water come up a little bit, put a couple drops of the essential oil, and you will not believe it. A couple drops of peppermint. Okay, so my release blend has the most amazing essential oils for inflammation and for opening up your lungs and your respiratory pathways. A couple drops of that in the shower is like a spa for your sinuses. It is incredible. So try that. I also love to apply essential oils right to my person with a carrier oil. Okay. So, and the herbs, all of these are herbs as well, right? We can use them all as herbs or food. I love to cook with all of them. I love to make tea and I love to soak in them as well. Oh, and I didn't talk about that. I'm sorry. I'm going to backtrack just slightly. Pause. We're going back with the complete salt. I just want to talk about how I use that. Okay. So I drink a full minerally charged glass of full mineral charged salt water every day. Now that does not mean it's a glass of salt water. It's 1 teaspoon of fully charged water in 8 ounces of water. I drink that every day. I love to put the salt in my tub, in my foot soak, in the bottom of my showers. I just explained with the essential oils. And, I use them in my products, like my sprays. My sprays all have salt water. So there's many ways that you can use these things to benefit your immune system. Okay. And what I really want to be clear about is these things, the essential oils, the salt, the herbs, they affect us on the whole person level. So they help us on our physical level, they help us on our emotional level, and they help us on our energetic level. So when we have a product that will help us as the complete person, that's just everything. And that is going to make sure that our immune system is where it needs to be. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, a very practical thing, is sunshine. Sunshine, we cannot say enough about the sun and the vitamin D that we get from the sun. The sun is life, right? And we know that for plants. If we have plants that don't get the sun, right? There are some plants that are shade, but they still need the sun, right? They can't be in complete shade all the time. They need access to the sun at some point, right? The sun has to come out. We need that too. We are living, breathing beings, and we need the sun. So at least 15 minutes a day out in the sun. Okay. And I say without massive sunscreen, if you can. That might be popular, that might be unpopular. Just my opinion. We need that unfiltered sunshine. Okay. And if you do it in a limited amount, it's not going to be harmful. All right. I'm not a doctor. I don't even play a doctor on TV. So don't quote me on that. That's just my personal opinion and feeling. So you have to do what you feel is best for you. The next one is breath. And I cannot speak enough about the life-changing benefits of breath. There are even people that are saying now that breath alone can help you let go of weight. Okay. Which I don't disagree with. I don't know if that's all that you need to do, but that is a big start. And I have a little bit of my own well-being with this. So there was a time in my life when I wasn't sleeping well. And I was falling asleep fine. I was waking up in the middle of the night, couldn't go back to sleep. And I was having a very hard time with it. So I asked my doctor, and he recommended sleeping pills and things like that. And I should also say that I'm very sensitive to medicines. So what the dosage for the typical person would be, and not only medicines, just all substances in general, whatever the typical dose for a normal person would be, that affects me greatly. Like melatonin, I can't even take like a quarter of a melatonin. If I take more than that, I wake up the next morning and I'm drugged for half the day. So I knew, like, I had little kids. My daughter was young. I didn't want to take a sleeping pill in case I wasn't available for her if she needed me. So I was again praying, like, help me. I need something to help with this. And I was watching Oprah one day and Dr. Oz was on it. And before commercial, she said, Dr. Oz, we want your one recommendation. What's the one thing that people can do right now to to help with their health. And I thought he was going to say goji berries or flaxseed or something like that. He came back and he talked about this type of breath, and he demonstrated it. And it was deep into your belly first, then expand the lungs, hold for a few moments, release out your mouth. I call it a complete breath. And he said, if you do 10 of those every day, your life will be changed. And I thought, well, that's pretty easy. Like, I don't have to go to the store and buy anything. I don't have to remember to do anything else. Like, I can do that before bed. And so I did that before bed, and I slept through the night. And I woke up the next morning going, did I sleep through the night, or am I dreaming right now? And, it was kind of crazy, but I realized, no, I did sleep through the night. And then I did it. I did 10 in the morning, and I was able to get through my day a little bit better. My stress level was lower, which is essential for our immune system. And then I kept doing it, and I kept feeling great, and I couldn't believe it. And I went from a type A person to this more mindful, more grounded, more centered person. And I honestly didn't think that was possible, because my entire family, I come from a long line of worriers, a long line of type A stressed out people. And I just thought that was my destiny. I thought that was how I was meant to live. And so that was another instance of, well-being that I found through prayer. But, and life-changing. So breath, we cannot underscore the importance of that. And diaphragmatic breathing is where it's at. If we can diaphragmatic breathe, okay, then it's just everything. So it builds our breath, it builds our immune system by expanding our lung capacity and oxygenating all of our cells. Typically, we breathe very shallow. We breathe from just within our lungs up. And that keeps us alive, but that doesn't oxygenate all of our cells, which is what we need. And when we do that deep belly breath, it actually activates nerve sensors that tell our brain to calm down. Miraculous, right? Miraculous. It's our calming button that we need is within us all along. Okay. It lowers cortisol, which is the stress hormone, helps lower blood pressure. Breathing deeply in that way helps clear mucus. It boosts the arterial blood flow and improves relaxation, soothes the nervous system, and improves our stress response, which is key, especially now. We are under so much stress. Our nervous systems are crazy. We are in fight or flight constantly. We are on high alert. And so whatever we can do to help minimize that and to help bring ourselves into a space of calm and relaxation is perfect. Okay. The next practical tip I have is laughter. Put on a movie that you love, something silly and dumb. It doesn't matter. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Laughter truly is one of the best medicines. Again, we talked about how when our mood is elevated, our immune system is boosted. That's laughter, right? When we are laughing a great big belly laugh, there is nothing more joyful than that, right? So the more that we can do that, the more our immune system will be boosted and our nervous system will be soothed. Very important. The next practical tip is movement. When you can move, that's everything, right? So, and it doesn't have to be, we want to sweat as often as we can, but we just need to get our body in movement. So whatever that means, and it can be something gentle, like some really gentle yoga. It can be a full-on workout, a run. It can be a walk. It can be whatever it is, but get in movement. What I love to do a lot of days for my movement is out in my yard, walking around my yard out in the sunshine, right? I'm getting the movement. I'm getting the sunshine. I'm grounding because I've got my bare feet in the grass. That's perfection. Okay. So again, we want to take these really practical things and find what resonates with us and then incorporate them into everyday life. And again, I want to let you know, I have a product called Heal that I created for I didn't realize it when I created it. I created it for someone who asked me to create something for foot fungus because they were doing a lot of pedicures and they needed something to put in the water for some of their clients. And I created this, and then I didn't realize it, but I use everything that I create first. I'm the guinea pig. And I realized that I started feeling better. Like I started feeling like I had more stamina. And I also realized that I was not like at this time that I was using it, people in my house were sick and I wasn't getting it. And I'm like, not even a little bit, because up until that point, people in, that I was around would get sick and I would get it just very mild, right? I'd get a much milder version. I wasn't even getting the mild version. And I thought, what in the world is going on with this? And then I realized this blend that I created that came through me intuitively is all the antis: antiviral, antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial. Plus, the more we use it, it builds our immune system. It also kills airborne germs. So that is called HEAL, HEAL. If you'd like that, let me know. I can help with, if you want recommendations. Oh, and I didn't say right now, my site, everything on my site is 10% off, including my readings. So, and I just posted the code that you need. It's Xmas10. I always have a Christmas in July sale, and I didn't this year. I was just busy, and it got away from me. The month flew, and here we are at the end of August. But I'm having my Christmas in August sale, so we're just moving it a little bit. And so everything on the site is 10% off. And again, if you want a recommendation, let me know. The other thing that I want to say before we get to the magical part of building our immune system, which we will get to in just a moment, is that we are all processing so much, and it feels like we're processing on top of processing on top of processing. And for myself, what I have found is I'm in the middle of processing one thing and something else comes and I'm processing that. So I'm processing all these multiple things and it can feel overwhelming. So I want to talk about a very beautiful, beautiful kit that I created in partnership with Lisa Gunshore, the Buddhist biohacker, and Cheryl Cremines, the Colorado herbalist. And this is called a Shakti box. And it is the most beautiful box of tools. And it's basically a processing box. We didn't know that when we created it. We didn't intend for it to be that when we created it. We just wanted to create this beautiful box of products and tools to help people. It's for Indian summer, right? So it's for those warm days and cool nights to help us to transition from one season to another, to really embrace that part of us, to garner all we need to from summer to be ready to go into fall. But what has occurred is that this is the most beautiful processing box. It's full of what we need. It's got a gorgeous tea from Cheryl to help us, right? It's very grounding. It's medicinal in and of itself. It's got an intuitive card from Lisa Gunshore, plus all of her downloads, her transmissions for 2020, which are, 2021, which are very important. And it's got a bag of ashwagandha salt soak, okay, which is my complete salt paired with ashwagandha powder, and it is gorgeous. I cannot believe how cleaning, clearing, and grounding it is, okay, and so good for our endocrine system, for our hormones. We all need that because when our immune systems and our stress is out of whack, our hormones are out of whack. So, and it also has a scrub that's an ashwagandha blend as well. So if you would like those are $111 plus $15 shipping. You can reach out to any of us to order that. And I would love to get that out to you. Okay, we've got very limited numbers. So if you want a Shakti box, and believe me, you do, it's going to help you process now and in the future. Let me know. All right, so I want to get to some of these comments if I can. Let's see. The bad bacteria. Now, Mary says, doesn't the bad bacteria actually play an important role? Yes, I think that we do need a balance. We don't want only good bacteria. We just want a balance so that we've got a balance of good bacteria and a balance of the not so great bacteria, right? When we've got that balance, they can't really take root and make us ill. And that's what's important. It's all about keeping ourselves healthy. Jeff says, love, love, love essential oils. Was just putting on peppermint essential oil. Great for headaches and congestion. Yes. Lavender is great to reduce anxiety and stress. Tea tree is a great bug fighter too. Yes, 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 Jeff. Thank you for all of that. Mary says, tea tree is the only thing we found that actually cured my son's athlete's foot problem. Absolutely, Mary. And let me tell you, my heel is amazing on that. I know like 5 or 6 people that I know of that have helped all of their feet issues. So love that. And that's my heel. Again, my heel essential oil. Yes, our general health has suffered from being told to stay out of the sun. It's true. We need the sun. It is life-giving. It's our life force. Very sensitive to meds too. She believes in the sun. Yeah, and has a hard time taking them. Me too. Me too. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Dana. Dana says, I forget to breathe. Such a good reminder. I'm also a worrier and my brain has a hard time letting go. Absolutely. And I want to speak to something, Dana. Dana's an astrologer and I'm an air sign. So that means that I live in my head. By nature, that's my default. So I have to do everything that I can to drop from this space down into my physical body, right? That's the only way that we can let go of that worry. That's the only way that we can let go of that tension, right? And so the breathing is essential. So you want to be really careful with that. And when you notice that you're up here too much, do a couple tools. Like I said, the walking in the grass, getting out in the sun, the breathing, all of that will help drop you from here down to here where you are, you're, firing all cylinders, I like to say. Oh yeah. Watch baby and dog videos, whatever you can that is going to help you to laugh, do it. Oh, I love this, Tracy. She loves her heel spray. It even helps her to sleep. Oh, thank you so much for letting us know that. And I'm so happy. And it does. So one of the things about heel that is so wonderful that I didn't realize until I had been using it for quite a while is that heel not only boosts our immune system, but it has this beautiful ability to go in and help us with what I call soul fatigue or spiritual fatigue. And this is where we are exhausted on a soul level, right? And it's easy to get exhausted. We're doing so much. We're processing so much. We're doing all of this amazing work on ourselves. So it's really easy to get in soul fatigue, plus all the garbage that we take in from everybody else, right? Heel goes in there and helps us with that. And that's what I'm talking about, is the type of soul fatigue that more sleep doesn't necessarily help. Or if we can't sleep, obviously that really exacerbates it, but more green smoothies or, teas and things like that, they just doesn't quite go in there deep enough, right? Or we need something that's purposeful for that. And heel is beautiful at doing that. So I'm not surprised that that's helping you sleep. Oh, and Jeff says your release essential oil is amazing. Best EO ever. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. I love that one. I created that for my husband and all his aches and pains with basketball. And then because like I said, I'm the guinea pig and I was using it, I noticed that I was feeling more peaceful and more able to deal with things and less angry. And then I realized that release works really heavily on our liver, which is where we hold all the old emotions and our anger and the frustration and all of that. So it goes in and helps us release all that. So it really is a beautiful, beautiful blend. And I appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you. Where do I recommend getting high grade oils? So this is personal. You've got to do it brand by brand. And what I suggest is you go to the store, you take the bottle in your hand. So I'm going to use my spray because you take it and I hold it right at my heart center and I breathe into it and I feel the frequency of it, because all products have a frequency. Everything has a frequency. And if you're quiet and still enough, you can feel it. And you can also feel if it's for you or not. So it's not that I say one brand is great and one brand is bad. I say try them and feel which one feels best for you. And the interesting thing is, you can go and one brand, the grapefruit will feel great. Let's say you want grapefruit. That one will feel wonderful. And then you'll get an oregano in that brand and it won't feel quite as good. Okay. So you really want to make sure that you're feeling it. That's how I came to use the essential oils that I use, the single oils that I use for my blends, is that way. And this company that I use, they are the only company that I have found where all of them across the board are very high frequency. And I think that is because the lady that created this company, she's an aromatherapist, she's a Reiki master, she does energy work. So she understands that, right? It's not about making money, it's about wellness and health for her. So it took me a long time to find them. It took me a long time to trial and error before, and I never really thought I would, have my own private. I would have my own label of products. But here I am. You just never know. You follow the breadcrumbs, and it leads you where you need to go. Does heel oil help aching feet? No, Dana. I don't want to say no, but if there's an issue going on, something, it could, but the one that I recommend is release, because that is for the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, the bone. And it's very anti-inflammatory. So often when our feet are, hurting, it's something going on. So the release is what would be really good for that. What's good to encourage growth of a bone graft for a tooth implant? I have a friend. Oh, the complete salt. So let me tell you about my salt and bones. Okay. I didn't know this when I started using it. I started soaking in it every day. I use my sprays every day. I take like I said, my fully charged salt water every morning, at least once. If I've been sweating a lot or I've had a really big day of a lot of processing, I might take a second fully charged mineral water. And that it's like Gatorade, except really, really good for you. It doesn't have anything harmful in it. So I started doing that and do it every single day. I use the salt in one way or another. With my scrubs, I use my scrubs daily. The charged water daily I drink and then soak. Okay. So we all hear that osteoporosis is connected to calcium. Well, years ago, I came across some research that I had to really dig for that said that osteoporosis is actually connected to salt deficiency or a sodium deficiency, because our bones are 27% sodium and like 22% calcium. And because we're mineral deficient, right? Because we don't absorb, we don't have minerals in our food supply, and our gardens aren't grown in mineral dense soils, and all, and our food takes so long to get to us, on and on and on. We're mineral deficient. And so our bones, our bodies are leaching the sodium from our bones to replace those minerals. And that's actually weakening our bones. And I thought, well, that's interesting. A couple weeks later, my husband came home and said, I just heard the most interesting story on the radio. And he told me exactly what I had researched. And I thought, well, that's interesting, but didn't, I was talking about it, but didn't have a personal experience until 2018. I was in Austin and I was on one of those motorized scooters and the brakes weren't working. My grandniece was actually riding this one and she said, my brake's not working very well. So I traded scooters with her. We were going down a slight incline and I was braking and it wouldn't brake. So I braked really quick and it stopped and threw me off of the scooter onto the street. And I mean, I flew and I landed with a huge thud. And I landed on my right side and I should have broken. And I had a bruise on my arm that was my entire forearm. I should have broken, I don't know how many bones. Nothing. No broken bones, only bruises. And it didn't really occur to me what was going on until the summer of 2019. I had two people I know who were in very serious scooter accidents, the exact same scooter that I fell off of. And they had serious breaks and injuries. And I had none. And I'm also like 30 years old or 20 years older than one of the ladies, right? So really, I should have broken a lot. And then in January or February of 2020, I had a car accident and my airbag didn't deploy. And I flew into the steering wheel and I had a bruise the shape of the steering wheel that went completely around the side of me. And the rescue, the ENTs that came, no, EMTs, sorry. We talked about ENTs earlier. The EMTs that came, they were shocked that I did not have any broken ribs. They could not believe it because of how hard I hit the steering wheel. I can only attribute it to the salt. Okay, so if you need strong bones, if you need bones to grow, that's what you need to do. Okay, she needs to be drinking the like my Restore. I have a product called Restore, which is the salt that you make the fully charged mineral water to then take a teaspoon and put it in a glass of water. She needs to be eating clean, complete salt. She needs to be bathing in it. She needs to be swishing it in her mouth. Okay, so does that make sense, Lily? And yes, so I hope that makes sense. And let's see. Any other questions before we get to the very magical portion of this? So I was in a prayer group the other day and I was asked to lead a meditation, and this came through, and I knew immediately that I needed to bring this meditation, or at least a version of it, because they're always different, but to all of you, because this is important and this is essential for our health and our well-being and for stress relief and stress management and all of these things. So we're going to do a meditation right now. So I invite all of you to get quiet and to gently close your eyes if you want to. And you can sit, however, just don't sit with anything crossed or closed. You want soft hands, you want soft eyes, you want open, soft feet. And just breathe. We want to take 3 nice deep belly breaths. In through the nose, expand that belly as much as you can, then up into the lungs, hold for a few moments, and then release out the mouth. And as we're breathing today, we want to just hold the intention to come present. We want to be present. We want to pull our energy in from the million things that are taking our energy, the things that are taking our thoughts, the things that are making us worry, the things on our to-do list, whatever they are. We want to bring our attention into ourselves. We want to drop down from the brain into the body. And the quickest way to do that is with our breath. So let's take some breaths. And just on the release, you're letting go of anything that's keeping you from being present. Being right here, right now, in this moment. We're going to do a quick scan of our body. So on the next exhale, bring your awareness to your head. And we're not trying to change anything. If you notice any discomfort, just notice it. We're just being the observer with our body. We're just giving our body some attention, and that's it. We're not trying to fix anything. So just notice the eyes, the nose, the forehead, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, the ears, the nape of the neck. And on the exhale, expand down to the throat and the shoulders and the arms and the elbows and the wrists and the hands and the fingers. And just notice. Another nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, let's expand down to the lungs and the chest, the heart, the core, the pelvic area, the hips, the buttocks, and just notice. We hold a lot of tension in this pelvic area, in our hips, in our buttocks. So just notice it and breathe. If you notice something, I like to just go, isn't that interesting? And go back to my breathing. On the next exhale, let's expand down to the thighs and the knees and the calves and the shins and the ankles and the feet and the toes. And just notice. Take a moment to just feel your body complete. We don't take enough time to engage with our physical body unless something hurts, and then we do, and we want to fix it, unless something is out of alignment. But it's a wonderful practice to get into connecting with your body in this way and just noticing all that it is, noticing it in this space. And on the next exhale, let's notice how we are connected to the earth. So it might be roots from our feet and our legs, expanding deep into the earth, so deep that we can't see where they begin or end. It might be vines coming up from the planet, gently wrapping around our ankles, tethering us to the planet, creating safety and stability. It might be a pillar of light expanding from our crown, down our spinal column, out our root, our tailbone, into the planet, deep into the core of the earth. Whatever it is for you, just notice. It might be a pedestal, a beautiful pedestal. Whatever it is, just notice. And feel the connection. Feel how deeply connected you are to yourself, to the earth, to all life. And in your mind's eye, you notice that there is a beautiful river of liquid gold that is flowing up from the center of the earth. With each breath, it comes closer to you. With each breath, it becomes part of you. It's entered your feet, the bottoms of your feet, coming up your legs and your thighs, into your torso, your pelvic area. With each breath, it's expanding more and more into you, deeper and deeper into your physical. It's flowing to all parts of you, incorporating every cell, finding its way into all the nooks and crannies. And as it's flowing, this beautiful, smooth, liquid gold, you are noticing how good you feel. This is health and vitality in a liquid form. Born of the sun, born of Gaia, born of the God and Goddess herself, his self. This is life. Breathe it up into you. Feel the warmth. Feel the connection. Feel the soothing, the pure love. This is absolute nourishment of your physical body, of your emotional body, your energetic body. This is life. This is vitality. This is you. How we're meant to live. Fluid, flowing, ease, light, and lightness. Take a few more moments to feel that beautiful liquid gold coursing through your body, filling your physical body with nourishment. True sacred care. And now let's take another breath and let's allow that liquid gold to expand from our physical, the boundary of our physical body, out into our etheric body, our energetic body, which expands out arm's length or more from our physical. We've got a huge energetic body. We need to address it as well and soothe it. And as this liquid gold flows, it is cleaning and clearing our physical and our etheric body of any debris, any toxins, anything that is keeping us from pure vitality, from pure life force. And just breathe that in and play with it. See how far out you can expand that liquid gold. See how deeply you can allow it to flow and penetrate your entire being, your entire light being. Have fun with it. This is serious work, but it's meant to be fun as well. And when we can combine those two, that's where the human and the spirit collide. The spirit is fun. The spirit is playful. The spirit is pure joy. It's the human that makes it all so serious and not fun and heavy. And this liquid gold will help us to soothe that and help us to remember the joy and the fun. It lightens the heavy, brings a smile back to our soul. So let's just revel in that smile for a moment and feel the warmth and the pure love of that liquid gold. That liquid gold flowing through us and around. Beautiful connection. We send it back into the earth. Whatever the liquid gold needs to remove, it takes and removes and flows back to the earth where it's transmuted into pure vitality again and comes back up into us, into all the parts of us. In this beautiful continual pattern of flow, nourishment and cleaning, and more nourishment. Just take a few moments to really ground into that space, to be present with it. And notice if there's one particular area of your physical body or your etheric body where the liquid gold has concentrated. where it needs to work. And again, just notice we don't need to do anything to allow this liquid gold to work its magic. All we need to do is hold space and be present to allow it to go in and work its miracles. So let's ask that liquid gold to do its job, to nourish, to replenish, to clean, to heal, to boost. Whatever it is that we need today, we don't even need to know it. We just need to create the space for the liquid gold to do its beautiful work. And this liquid gold will stay with you as long as you need it today. So from time to time, you might want to return to it and just notice it. And if you feel like you need it, you can recall it in a moment's notice. Let's take 2 more nice deep breaths. Let's place one hand or both hands on the heart center. And when you're ready, gently, gently, gently open your eyes and come back present. Take some breaths with your hands on your heart center. That'll help ground you back into this present space. I also like to do a little massage with my hands, my arms, maybe a shoulder roll or two that brings you back present. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you all for being here. Again, let me know if you have any questions or if you need any help. I want to be absolutely clear about something. I, as a human, have issues that I have to work on, physical issues, emotional issues, spiritual issues, all the time because I'm human. That's the part of being human. That's what we're here for, is to have our spiritual selves learn how to have this human experience. And it's messy, it's painful. Some days it's just downright awful, but we are here for it. We're here to learn how to do this, how to manage it. And nobody's perfect. We all have our stuff. Even the most spiritual of people have challenges in areas of their life. And that's why we have all these tools that we've gathered, right? These tool kits, these spiritual tool kits that have immense tools within them. That's why we have them. So, reach out to myself or whoever resonates with you or whoever you think might be able to help you if you need some specific help. And again, michelleselling.com, you can reach me there. My entire site is 10% off right now, including readings. And I've got those beautiful Shakti kits, the Shakti boxes, which are just unbelievably gorgeous in their appearance, in their contents, and in the magic, the practicality and magic that they will bring to you. So let me know if I can help in any way, or if I can help recommend something for an order, or if you want a Shakti box. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you joining me for this and for this very special 3rd episode of Practicality and Magic. Thank you all. Love you all. Have a beautiful Friday and a gorgeous weekend.